live to discuss the results of Callum Smith versus Artur Beterviev. As you guys know, if you haven't seen my video concerning Beterviev versus Callum Smith and Matchroom versus whoever Artur Beterviev is promoted by, I believe that's Top Rank. You know, there was spike in his adverse finding. We're going to talk about that as well. But first things first, let's talk about the results. So we're going to look at a little bit, and I'm going to review the results of the main event between Callum Smith, the AKA Big Billy Goat, versus Artur Beterviev. Okay, when you guys come in, hit that like button, if you will. The three musketeers that are there, hit the like button, please, and thank you. Okay, so I have Callum Smith getting on the scales now. Let me mute that some. Stuart, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Stuart in the building. The early bird gets the worm. And I know it's what about, I don't know if you are in the UK or wherever, but you know, glad you came on. Oh, so we got hold on. Yeah, they had to recalibrate it. I don't know whose music is that. I don't want it at all to be heard. Well, let's do this. All right. Let's see. I can never find the closed caption. It's some weird shit. Okay, let's see here. No, that's not it. Macho, what's up, Counter? What's up to you, Macho? Macho in the building. I had a good friend of mine, man. His name is Henry. He had a son named Macho. I used to be like, Macho, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué pasa, Macho? What you doing, Macho? Yeah, everybody used to trip out on that. Uh-oh. Okay. I just did something stupid. But anyway, what's up? Troy Peterson in the building. Counterpunch to you. OPEC 1. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. I am actually, come on, turn it on. All right. Knock it off, buddy. Down under repping. Troy Peterson in the building in the big down under. Shout out to Perth in this piece. I had a Marine friend of mine, man. I was in Florida living, and he was always talking about Perth, Australia. You know, he was always talking about Perth. You know, so I was like, man, is Perth hot? He's like, is it hot? Dude, women everywhere. Big Kurt salute, just got done doing some BJJ training. Good morning from Cali Bay area. Black Warrior Spirit, counterpunch to you, brother. Yeah, man, get it in. What's good, everybody? Salute, salute. Did Errol Spence make excuses? Yeah, I would call that an excuse. You know, you rate the amount of times you got hit based on an injury that you had that nobody knew that you had. You know, because you could have told everyone in advance that you had the injury. So, no, I think that was an excuse. I just think he didn't have a good enough excuse at the time he got his ass tapped to really use. Okay? I think that's what that was. You know, now, you know, cataract or any surgery could always kind of excuse stuff. But what is it? What do you do when you excuse? What does that mean? Excuses. Exactly. Counterpunch. Kurt, I think Errol has vision loss after the accident. I think he has vision loss. Which accident? Are you talking about the car accident? Or are you talking about the bar accident? Bars. Yeah, I believe he does. Now, I mean, what do you think happened to Sugar Ray Leonard? Do you think he got in a wreck? No, he got his ass punched. That's what happened when you get punched, when you get rattled, when you get attacked, assaulted. Perth is hot. 120 Shreveport in the house. Troy Peterson counterpunch to you. Shreveport 318. Never late. Ratchet City. Yeah, I got a house there, man. That's where I got a brother there and my dad's there. Now let's see if I can. Wait a minute. I think. There we go. Boom. Always thought it would be best to judge Spence. To judge Spence on the next fight, whether he was washed up or not. Well, yeah, I mean, especially if it's with the same person. You can't deny that. If it's with the same person, and the same person did the same thing, really, I think what people should understand that you're not going to beat everybody. That's just boxing. That's the hard truth to boxing, okay? Sugar Shane will never beat Vernon Forrest. It just didn't happen. Trinidad will never beat Bernard Hopkins. That's why a rematch never happened. Right? Like, some fights will never, Gotti will never beat De La Hoya. It just won't work that way. Certain styles foil other styles. You're going to get beat by someone in your career, unless you're Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd knew if Floyd would have fought, at least, okay, you had Margarito, you had Paul Williams, you had Edislandi Lara, you had who else did you have then that was fighting? You had Winky Wright, you had a lot of fighters that if Floyd would have fought, all of those fighters, somebody would have beat Floyd. And it doesn't take away the fact that he wasn't a great fighter. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just using him as an example. He didn't fight everybody. If you keep fighting people, somebody is going to beat you. Period. Somebody. You might scathe the opportunity for the feat because somebody that you beat that person. But don't mean that person that they beat won't beat you. That is how it works. Because that person had the exact key to pull in your lock and turn it and open that door. That's what they had. The other fighter didn't, even though they had the right key for their lock. If that makes sense. Let's hit that like button. Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford is the GOAT of this era. I believe he is. I believe he's the GOAT of this era. And then speaking of knockdowns, I think Mean Machine knocked him down. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean I'm an aerosexual. That doesn't mean I'm hating on Terrence either. I love Terrence Crawford, but I know he went down against Mean Machine. Virgil Ortiz beat Mean Machine, but Mean Machine rocked his bell a couple times in that fight as well. Bars. But it happens. It happens. It's called traumatic tri-injury nerve damage. Yeah. Traumatic eye injury nerve damage. Let me say that right. With his broken rib before the fight. I didn't hear about a broken rib. So I don't know. Somebody can, enlighten me on that. But okay, so hold on a second. See, Trinidad would beat anyone at 147. You mean Trinidad would beat anybody now at 147? Or then at 147? Floyd was great, but did Floyd fight the best boxers at the best times? Well, Sugar Shane Mosley, unfortunately, his last hoorah was when he beat the hell out of Antonio Margarito. And what I recently learned, which I thought I knew everything about that era of time and fighters, and I'm quite proud of that because in the welterweight division at the time, they had some of the best fighters I feel at the time, and people fought each other in their prime. But Floyd was a lot younger. He was younger than guys like Sugar Shane Mosley. Sugar Shane Mosley is about 53 years old right now. He's either 52 or 53. Floyd Mayweather is he was born in 77, so he's 2 years older than me. Okay, I'm 44. He's 46. 46 to 57. I mean 53. Okay, you're looking at 8 years there. So by the time Floyd fought him, Sugar Shane was not the same dude that he was. And look what happened in the fight. Sugar Shane still nailed that boy with the speed that he had, and Floyd definitely tasted the power. Okay, he definitely tasted the power. Captiano Colonia, good evening, Kurt. Counterpunch to you. But that's what separates the best from the rest. The best finds ways to win. Absolutely. Good evening, Kurt. Kurt, the link is in the sports rag and boxing scene. You can type in Wilder Sue's mother claims tainted breast milk called skinny legs. Man, you got to be kidding. There got to be some kind of... I mean, I'll look at it. I'm going to look at it because I'm intrigued. But like certain things, I do Wilder videos, but then certain levels and limits that I just don't like. Certain things don't interest me because it's just that silly. For example, when Wilder said he wanted to have a baby, I never did a video on that, simply because I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with boxing? What does a man desiring to have female organs have to do with boxing? Because that's exactly what he's going to have a child. So I didn't do anything on that. I mean, I'm just like, okay. And that was like 5 years ago. Okay. Floyd was great, but did Floyd fight the best? Okay, we got that one. It's actually true. Wow. I never heard that one, though. Did it recently just come out, or what? Is that something new? Anyway, I was born in 76. The middleweight of Leonard, Hagler, Duran, and Hearn got me hooked on boxing. Yeah, you're a few years older than me. So, I remember those times. Like, I remember people talking about those. It really didn't matter because if you knew about boxing, you knew about those fights because you knew how important that era of time was. Okay, because you knew Hagler, you knew Leonard, and because those guys were still campaigning and stuff. Okay. 174 pounds for Callum Smith, he's tall, rangy, okay, and they're gonna call Artur Beterviev to the stand. Turn better 75. Let's see. Okay, he was at 175 even. Okay. Yeah, the closed captioning was kind of retarded. They said better have. I'm older than you, Big Kurt. A welterweight 147 Hitman Hearns was dangerous for all. Yeah, you better ask Duran about that. And it's crazy. But looking at those four fighters, just take, for example, the four kings at that time frame. Just looking at the face-off. I always watch the intensity. Beterviev did this and then did that. Give me my belts. I will take my belts and I will keep my belts. Yeah, they didn't look at each other again after that. I don't know what that was or whatever. Okay. Beterviev is going to destroy Smith with his body attack. There's no Four Kings today. No, they're not. There's not any Four Kings today. Unfortunately, we don't have that type of competition. What's sad about it, I feel we're just speaking briefly on the welterweight division. I feel politics stopped there from being a Four Kings. Now, is there a future Four Kings? I see there's true potential to have a Four Kings scenario. Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Um, you know, because there's nobody there anymore. Danny Garcia's gone. Sean Porter's retired. Errol Spence is injured. Terrence Crawford is king. There's no one else. You have Jared Ennis, sure, Jared, but I mean, who is Jared going to fight? Victor Ortiz. Teofimo Lopez is talking about Terrence Crawford. Okay, we don't even know if Terrence Crawford's going to fight at 147. So how about you try to fight Jared Ennis? But then Teofimo, he's bigger. Ryan, Devin, there has to be somebody else. Maybe Jared Ennis could fill in that slot. Maybe. So I don't know. I have no idea. Kurt, is T.O. absolutely mad on the head calling out Terrence Crawford? No. I mean, why would he be mad for calling out Terrence Crawford? Because understand, that's happened already. He ain't did nothing that someone else ain't already done. Look at Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia did exactly the same thing. The only difference was Mikey Garcia was legitimately undefeated when he went to 147. And Teofimo Lopez, I think, is bigger than Mikey Garcia. Can he hang with 147? I don't know. I think he should campaign there first, then take on Terrence Crawford. But then we don't know if Terrence Crawford is going to be at 154. And I think he knows that too. T.O.'s not dumb, neither is his father. So they know what to do. And they figure, hey, let's call out Terrence Crawford, because if I don't get the fight, at least I will say and have on documentation, I wanted to fight Terrence Crawford and I couldn't get that fight. A lot of people do that. Wilder did that for years with Joshua. And we don't really know if he wanted to fight or not, honestly, at that time. He might want it now, maybe, but he's still saying the same thing in the same claim that he did 5 years ago. He should have took that money. You haven't heard of anybody with any type of B-side attached to their name offer anybody anything that's A-side. That doesn't work. That doesn't really happen. Okay? Not saying it never happens, because Terrence Crawford attempted to do that to Errol Spence last year with the 25 million. But Teofimo Lopez calling out Terrence Crawford, and it's like, okay, you know this man is contracted to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence is injured. He's not at 147. He's not. He's not at 147. He's at 140. So, no, I mean, you can't take people that talk something that they say they want to do seriously without walking something that they're not walking and showing that they're serious. It just doesn't work. I heard from Blue Blood that Crawford canceled the rematch with Spence. Well, I mean, Blue Blood probably heard something that he said that he's just reporting something that he heard, which is nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't mean it's true. Would it be cool? Okay, if that's the case, then where does Terrence go if that's true? I didn't hear that, so, I'm not going to put too much energy into it. Okay? He said in November 2020 in PBC podcast when he was coming up so much excuses while being silent for 8 or 9 months in lockdown by letting his fans. Yeah, I remember that, man. It's just kind of tiring to think about right now. Lopez made it easy work of Taylor. He sure did. Maybe Lopez is feeling that same spirit. Like, hey, this guy was undisputed. This guy fought Ramirez. This guy fought Regis Prograis in his prime. This guy fought Catterall, scaved away with a win. I don't know how the hell he did that. So yeah, I'm gonna go after who? Josh Taylor, and he did that. So in comparison to what Terrence did, Terrence started at the WBO undisputed limit at 140, then went to take the WBO strap away from the undefeated Jeff Horn that recently defeated Manny Pacquiao, even though a lot of people thought that Pacquiao won, including myself. However, it was a tough fight for him because Jeff Horn made it difficult. He was a bigger guy and he bullied Manny around. So he showed that he was the stronger guy by being the bigger guy, but necessarily wasn't the better guy. But he still won. Terrence Crawford snatched that belt from him. What else did he do after that? After that belt, after he became the WBO, the powers that be, Al Heyman in them, they didn't even acknowledge him being a welterweight champion. Okay? They had everybody else champion at the time. It was sad, bro. It was sad. They blackballed Terrence Crawford. So there could have been a Four Kings. There could have been the only thing they could have been Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter, because Sean Porter was a champion as well. Keith Thurman could have been there if he wasn't too busy. I don't know what the hell he was doing, making babies, having surgeries, losing hair. I don't know what Keith Thurman was doing. But Keith, he got beat by Manny. That might have took some confidence out of him. Honestly, you got beat by a 40-year-old congressman. It's true. Okay, so, maybe that affected him some because we haven't seen Keith in damn near 2 years after he took on Mario Barrios. And Mario Barrios hit him in that soft-ass belly. And Keith did the same thing that he does every time he gets hit in the belly. Flees. He gets the hell out of Dodge because that punch hurts him. So, yeah, you had that type of competition, but we still was able to get the Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford fight, which was cool. And what made it not cool, though, of how dominant it was. So a lot of people felt cheated. They seen one guy beat the other shit out of the other guy. And people wondered, like, what is this? What is this? Lopez, yeah. Robert Badea. Lopez is very athletic. Yeah, he is. And I am interested to see what he can do with Terrence Crawford. I just don't like anybody saying anything of what they want and who they're calling out without even being at that place. That's like someone in California telling someone in New York, dude, I want to fight you. I'll fuck you up. Excuse my French. Right? But you're in California, though. You're telling somebody in New York that. Are you going to get on a plane to fly there, to be in that same space, in that same place, and then say that? Are you going to do that? Are you going to be and take the initiative to do or to act on what you talked about? If that's the case, that's cool. But don't just be screaming from California, I'm going to kick your butt. I'll crush you. And you're telling somebody in New York this. You're on the phone. Yeah, I'm going to knock you out. Man, I'm going to destroy you. Man, I'm going to massacre you. It's going to be destruction. Wait till I put these hands on you. But you never go to New York. Yeah, no, dude, no. Kurt, DHP, Devin Haney has the potential to be one of the greatest of this era. Do you rate Devin Haney? Will Devin be the best ever to lace the gloves up? With the right timing, yes, he can be. He just can't do something stupid like fight like guys that are top now. You better wait till these guys get older, past their present moment of successful fighting. Their window, their successful time limit of fighting top opposition or being top opposition, that has to be gone. That has to move, all a fighter is. You see a fighter with so much potential. Okay, potential is one thing. But then you have a such thing as a peak. When these fighters peak, you're looking at them and you're like, okay, well, this fighter is the man. I don't see anybody beating him. Like a lot of people was like that. Like people looked at Roy Jones like that. People looked at Canelo like that a few years back. Now, no one's saying that. No one's saying, oh man, Canelo can't be beat, because we've seen him beat. We've seen him beat a few times. I said a few means more than two. Bars. So I'm not convinced, and I never was convinced on that. I just seen Canelo fight and beat the hell out of guys that I was surprised that he beat the hell out of, like Callum Smith, to tie this back on in. So there you go. Uh-oh. Kurt, people want Mexican style. I'm not paying for a running match. Well, you don't have to have a Mexican style to be entertaining. Mexican style, I think, has trumped the whole notion of you could trade without having a Mexican style. You just can't be scared, you can't overhold, and you can't move too much more than you punch, because people then look at that as running. A lot of times people use that as a irking tactic. Like look for example, Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara did certain things to frustrate opponents. And then all of a sudden, when you start going like, what? Bow! You get punched in the face. When you get tired of like, okay, he's here, he's there. He goes side to side, he moves this way. He's here, he's there. He goes side to side, he moves that way. He goes here, he's there. He goes side to side and goes that way, and then goes that way. You're like, dude, are you going to fight me or what? What's the bow? Mother son of a... I wanted Taylor to beat Lopez, but Lopez made him look foolish with that jumping MMA punch. Stewart, he did. But this, you know what that fight proved to me? And this is all it was. It really didn't have as much to do with Lopez as it had to deal with Joshua Taylor. Mr. Joshua Taylor is just done. He's not as bad. He's not as good as he used to be. That's not the same fighter that fought Ramirez, It's not. Or Regis Prograis. It's not. And when he fought Regis Prograis, he was at home, by the way. Okay, just same as he fought Jack Catterall. Okay, you got to call it a buck. He might not have been in Scotland like he was with Catterall, but he was definitely in the UK. So he was closer to home. Versus a guy from New Orleans that equally did as good as Josh did, but he didn't get the nod because he wasn't at home. If he would have been at home in New Orleans, he would have won that fight. I'm just telling you guys what it is. Josh Taylor's resume, it's decent, but it's not the best because he has holes all in that sucker. Jack Catterall beat him. Regis Prograis, they went toe-to-toe. That's a debatable fight. He won the nod. He just got beat by Lopez. Understand, I don't think he was the same fighter, but then, what goes around comes around. It's karma, baby. You didn't beat Jack Catterall. So, yeah, you really got beat by Teofimo. Okay? And he proved he's trash. He never hurt Loma. You don't have to hurt someone to beat them. However, he did not. I repeat, he did not beat Lomachenko. Was it a close fight? It was a close enough fight to have a debate. Boxing, people, it's a business. Okay? It's a business. And I have to stress this. Shout out to John Cinco. I told my boy and anybody that would listen, while I was live, yes, I was tipsy to drunk. I was ripped. Look at that live. My eyes was dangling all over the place. But I'm watching Lomachenko be Lomachenko. I'm watching Devin Haney stick to a game plan. Okay? He was allowing Lomachenko to come in with combinations. Most of the time, Lomachenko was first. Most of the time, Lomachenko would land some of his best shots. He landed the most precise shots. But what Devin Haney was able to do, Devin Haney stuck to the game plan. He did not lose focus and veer away from the game plan. What was the game plan? Wait for him to come in, counter to the body. That right uppercut to the body landed all night for Devin Haney. And he backed it up with jabs in sequence. He was a taller, bigger dude anyway. So that jab was out there. Even though Loma was, sidestepping and, but you have to side and you have to do extra movement, being the shorter, smaller fighter like Loma was to get to Devin Haney. So it exerted more energy, but he was game for it. Lomachenko should have done more. I think Lomachenko knew he was a better boxer, therefore he didn't have to do more, and that was his downfall. This man is 35 years old. This man has been beaten twice on paper, okay? Salido, Lopez, all right? So, those were two decisions, not knockouts. So if you knew that, why would you think and feel confident that this wouldn't happen to you again, not getting the nod the last two times? Orlando Salido was a Mexican version of Andrew Galata. This man hit him to the balls so many times in that fight that what's the corrupt guy from East Texas, Lawrence Cole? Is it Lawrence Cole? Lawrence Cole did not see none of these ball shots. Pathetic. He didn't do enough in the Lopez fight. Okay. You can't really argue there, but these are both decisions. So why would you think you could coast by just pop-shotting Devin Haney, the younger Devin Haney, the undefeated Devin Haney, the marketed Devin Haney? Because at the time, yes, he was with top promoters, i.e. Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, back to Eddie Hearn. Okay, so Loma wasn't going to win that fight unless he went all out, and if he did, he would have to try to stop him. He didn't, because he felt he didn't need to. But that was his downfall. Loma is a special fighter, but Loma is old. He's older. And here's the irony. Here's the irony of Loma being older now. Do you guys remember when Loma was asked about fighting Manny Pacquiao, and what did he reply with? I don't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. It's just too old. Remember that? And we all know Manny's great. Floyd, Manny, those guys are great. Floyd just got out of the game earlier than Manny. Floyd was like, well, I'm going to slam bitches. I'm going to retire on top. You see me at my cat house. Leonard, we going to the cat house tonight? Yeah, we going, Floyd. He'd have probably got a draw if it was in Scotland. LOL. Beterviev on steroids will KO Smith. I'm not going to say that, Quan Big Guns. I'm not going to say that because I don't know. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to put Beterviev in a circle of people that he doesn't belong to be in. Like I said in my breakdown, I think Beterviev might have did leg work. One thing, if you know anything about leg work, okay? Hold on a second. Okay, so other work stuff I was just looking at. Had to look at an email. Okay, certain of the typical to A test. Beterviev is a devout Muslim, not a tank Muslim. Beterviev won't touch peds or drugs. The man don't drink. I don't think he'll stick a needle in his booty. Good job, Marlon. I don't think, you know what I mean? I don't think he's that type of dude. I think he might have had some oysters on a particular week or had something that boosts, something natural that boosted his testosterone. If I had to guess, I think he did legs and worked on his strengthening conditioning in which boosted his legs. But I'll say this. If he took some type of supplement that was experimental, that was recommended by his strengthening conditioning coach, he mustn't do that again, because that raises red flags. But I don't think he did anything different for this fight, or it hasn't been proven that he did anything different for this fight. So I just think chop it up. No, man had some, some Canadian shucked oysters. You know what I mean? Out the half shell. You know what I mean? Yeah, took him to the face, char grilled. You know what I mean? Probably knowing Beterviev, he probably had him cold right out the shell. It's good. Crackers. Kurt, do you think Loma won? Loma did win, but Loma did not win. If that makes sense. He's 35 years old with 2 losses. How long is he going to be around? We don't even know if he's going to fight again. Hello. Come on. Kurt, what do you think about fight between Ergovic and Parker? Will it happen, and who you think will win and how? In short, me looking at Hrgovic versus Parker now, Hrgovic would have to knock out Parker to win. I don't think Hrgovic will win a decision with Joseph Parker. I just don't think so. He's too mobile. His boxing IQ is too much. His experience is he's too experienced. I don't think Hrgovic was able to do that with that lack of head movement, with that European style. I don't think so. And I was wondering what the hell Wilder was doing, damn near 7 foot tall, standing like a fucking pine tree. He didn't think that Parker could reach out and touch him with those haymakers that he was landing on him. He was throwing these overhand right haymakers, Parker was. And they were nailing Wilder. Okay, this is the heavyweight division. Hell, you don't need 100 of them. You just need a couple. Hell, you need one. Let one heavyweight land one good shot as many times as you practice. That's what a professional does. He practices on that particular shot, especially the shot that's involved in the game plan. If you keep practicing it and you perfect the shit, you're going to be able to land each and every time it lands. It's going to make an impact. That's why it's scary for a guy to perfect a shot or a kick or an attack 1,000 times and perfects it. You can throw, I don't care about 1,000 type of kicks. It's the guy that practiced that one kick 1,000 times, right? You think Parker didn't do that? Parker showed you the way he could dash in and dash out. I was impressed at him being 245 pounds, and it was able to do that. That proves not only is he an honorary gypsy, no, he's an honorary Samoan. That boy is strong, and that boy can carry that weight naturally. Okay? Ethnic-wise, he can carry that weight. Those people are strong. And I'm not being, I'm being a little stereotypical, but most stereotypes are true. You know what I mean? The man is strong. That's why people were so amazed that Joe Joyce was able to take out Parker, because nobody was able to do it. That dude, a Kiwi, that's a big island boy. You better be careful. You ain't gonna knock that dude out. Well, what happened? He got knocked out. That's what the significance, because no one else done it. Okay, but back to Hrgovic. No, I don't think Hrgovic will beat Parker. No, unless he knocks him out. If he's able to knock him out, and there was some residual damage from the Joe Joyce knockout, he might have a shot. However, I don't see him doing that. This is not a Joe Joyce. He's not pressing forward and walking you down and throwing punches and bunches. That's not Hrgovic. Hrgovic is throwing certain shots that I think that him and his team could prepare for. I don't think Hrgovic will beat him. I think Hrgovic made a mistake by calling him out. He just feels that he's better than Joe Joyce because he feels he beat Zhang, and Zhang beat Joe Joyce because he believes in triangle theories. I bet you the reason he wanted that fight is because of that reason. Because of that fact. That's a fact. He beat the guy that knocked out Joe Joyce. He beat Zhang. Okay? He beat Zhilei Zhang. He decisioned Zhilei Zhang. So he feels, I am strong. I am el animal. Okay, el animal. You haven't fought Joe. You know what I want to see? I want to see Hrgovic versus Joe Joyce. That's what I want to see. Why not? And everybody's going to be like, When Joe Joyce puts a whooping on Philip Hergovic because he has no head movement, and who else didn't have head movement? Daniel Dubois. That's what happened to him because Daniel Dubois didn't learn how to. He didn't learn how to make the subtle adjustments, move the damn head, avoid that shot that hit him all night, that swelled up his eye, that made him quit. He didn't have the ability to do that or have the experience to know to do that. If I keep getting hit with this damn punch, it's pepper in my face. If I keep getting hit with it, it's going to swell my eye out. That's going to affect my eyesight. He's going to hit me more with it because I'm not going to be able to see it like I used to see it. But when I did see it, I made no adjustments to get away from it. Okay, that's what happened to Daniel Dubois, and now, damn it, Hergovic is down. He's walking down the same path. The only thing about Zhilei Zhang is Zhilei Zhang's a southpaw, and Zhilei Zhang doesn't constantly attack you. He picks his shots by pawing in, waiting for the counter, similar to another southpaw that's getting old as dirt, Luis Ortiz used to do. Luis Ortiz, I think, was a little bit more aggressive, but he wasn't as big. He might have been the same size as Zhang once upon a time, but he's old as hell. So what you happen when you're older, what do when we get older? We shrink. Think about Luis Ortiz 7 years ago. That man was husky. He looked like he was a husky big boy. He went from a husky big boy to kind of a shriveled older guy that could no longer take punches. That may or may not be the reason or the result of Deontay Wilder's punches. We don't know. Okay? But no, I don't think Hergovic will beat Parker. No. I don't. Loma definitely won that fight. Okay. Stewart, I think Parker beats Hergovic. Okay. There we go, Stewart. Canelo versus Benavidez is the only fight that I'm praying for. I don't care for that fight at all. Marcos, I don't care to see Canelo and Benavidez. You know why? Benavidez is young, hungry, strong, and I don't see the same in Canelo. I hear Canelo say, boxing is my life. Okay, wonderful. I think you owe a lot to boxing based on what boxing has done for you, along with your promotional companies, along with your markability from boxing ability, style, personality, and looks. Appearance. You got to put appearance in there when you're talking about Canelo, and it wouldn't be fair if you didn't. Or you wouldn't really be true to the nature of his career if you didn't mention his appearance. A red-headed Mexican that looks like he's from Scotland or Ireland. Yeah. Stop it, Kurt. Haney beat Loma easy. He made Loma cry after that. That's how. Now, Haney, come on, bro. You think he cried because he felt he got beat by Haney? Come on, man. You think he thinks he got beat? That's a totally different discussion. If he thought he got beat. No. I don't think so. Dr. Spako, Kurt, what do you think about fight between Hergovic and Parker? Will it happen and who will win? Just explained it. Okay. It's spelled Ergovic. Come on, mush. Sort your spelling out. Okay. I don't know who the hell is Cole. Loma can't beat Haney. Hergovic's best win is Zhang. The rest of the resume is trash. I mean, that was his. He didn't get a fight. Those guys didn't want to fight Hergovic. But see, it's up to Hergovic to prove why fights don't happen or why he hasn't lost the fight. He has to prove that. He has to show, hey, yeah, I'm going to take out Parker and prove to everybody why everybody and their mama ducked me. That's what he's going to have to do. Kurt, what do you think about? Okay. You think Floyd still lives clean? I don't do drugs or drink, but I will smack a bitch for the right price. I'm a prize fighter. CJ Rich, I don't know. But see, I'll say this about Floyd, and this is going to trip you out. If you're Floyd Mayweather and you know you're no longer a professional prize fighter, understand we're everyday average people. More than likely, we do things that fighters can't do or they shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And Floyd, we like if he's 47, I think he'll be 47 next month on the 28th or the 24th. When's Floyd's birthday? The 24th or the 28th? I think it's the 24th. He turns 47 years old. If he's still, training and stuff like that, which I know he is, let's put it this way. If you seen Floyd all of a sudden jacked, if you seen Floyd jacked with like muscles everywhere, he's all fast and gym, yeah, he's juicing. He's juicing, but here's the deal. He's probably legally juicing because if he has any type of, all he has to do, Floyd, at this point, all Floyd has to do, he doesn't have to go to the black market. No, he's at an age where his pituitary gland does not produce normally, I don't know what his body does, so let me stop saying that. But normally with guys that age, they start having issues with producing testosterone. And yes, some of it affects your sex drive, but most of the time it affects your energy levels. So a lot of times you don't want to do much. That's how those guys, that used to lift weights and stop lift weights, now they got titties like Jarrell Miller. You know what I'm saying? So like those things happen, and that's a lack of testosterone. And, you start getting, your body starts producing more estrogen than testosterone. And since that's the case, you get tired, you become a couch potato, you don't want to really do nothing, you become moody as hell. Whereas most people that are juicing, believe it or not, they're not roid ragey, they're happy. You know what I mean? So yeah, all he has to do is say and mention those symptoms, and they're going to put him on some type of TR, testosterone replacement. He's going to get one of his girl. Don't put it in too deep. Just put it to the level and to the side. Don't injure my booty fat. Right? Yeah. I know Muslims who have taken steroids. It's BS. Kurt, do you think about fight between Hergovic? Okay, Dr. Spako, I hope you heard that. What's up, Kurt, in the counterpunch community? Skrilla 50 in the building. Cold oysters are the best way to eat oysters, Kurt. Well, it's the best way to observe. Let me tell you guys something. I love oysters. I'm from Louisiana. They're there in Louisiana. When I go to New Orleans, I go to Drago's. Shout out to Drago's or Dragos, however you pronounce it. They have two. They have one in Metairie, which is the town before New Orleans. So you have Metairie, then New Orleans. That was the original. It's all of it's bloody good. But I go to the one downtown because I'm in New Orleans because my people is in the West Bank. So I take an Uber from the West Bank, where I will be staying in New Orleans, normally most of the time with my family. I take an Uber downtown, get dropped off right at Hilton, okay? The Hilton has this huge restaurant called Dragos. They have the best oysters ever. They're about that big around, okay? Depends on the season, but they're mostly that big around. And they take them. I love char grill. They take butter, they take cheese, they take flour, and they char them. They char them on top of the oyster. The oyster's inside of this bubbly goodness. And I tell you, they got two pieces of bread that you sop it. You tear a piece of bread and you sop it because it comes with a plate, and the plate has this little wrapping. Okay, so the oysters come on the wrapping, and the wrapping's on the plate, and the wrapping has the juice, the garlic, and all that in it. So you take that and you sop it. Okay, if you guys don't know about sopping, it's just basically you're wiping the bread, and then I take it and I put the damn oyster on top, and then I eat it. and I eat it like, and you see me, I look like a sea monster because I'm destroying these things. It's no shame, okay? You be like, damn, is that Kurt DeVille over there eating those oysters like a fucking monster or a bear? Yes, that's me. That's what I do. And I love them. And I will eat 2 to 3 dozen. And I will leave there rocked up. I'll leave there ready to destroy something, breaking hips. Oh God, what got into you? You know what's going to get into you. Okay. Let's see where are we at. I reckon Joyce will be on the Fury card. I hope Joyce is somewhere. He will be somewhere. He said he will. I seen a YouTube video earlier that said The Rock didn't use steroids. He definitely did or does. The Rock. Yeah, you know, like, bro, come on. Haney really lost the Loma fight. It don't matter because he didn't officially lose. We seen you need to see the fight with your own natural eye, and then you need to also see the fight with politics added, because it's politics in boxing. No, seriously, Nathan. I mean, that's what it is. You know, some food needs to be savage. Drago's in New Orleans. Sly Stallone doesn't eat there. He's afraid of being knocked out. Why is that? What happened to Sly? I know the first time I ever seen Sylvester Stallone, he was in New Orleans. He was doing the grudge match, you know, the boxing movie. Jerk chicken and rice for Mars tonight. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen. Yeah, jerk chicken's cool. Callum Smith will KO Beterviev with the left hook. Well, I think if that's how he's going to do it, that's what he's going to do it with, the left hook. Because Callum Smith Callum Smith can time that left hook. And he's good at doing it. You know, sit, bah! I mean, he's badass with it. And Beterviev does rush in. So could that happen? Hell, that could happen. And we've seen Beterviev hurt before. Yard was able to hurt Beterviev, if you guys can remember. You know? How long do you think this era of heavyweights have left, Kurt? I think 1 to 3 years. I think 2.5. Then all of them will be retired. You know, I think this time, 2 years from now, AJ will be retired. Tyson Fury will probably retire this year. Usyk will retire this year. Joe Joyce, we'll see what he'll do. If he hasn't got to where he could fight for a title, I think he will retire too. Jarrell Miller will probably still be in jail. Who else? Jared Anderson. I mean, Jared, if he's motivated some type of way, he will do good. But then we don't know. Unfortunately, I see Jared doing something that you won't see, and I see it. You know, everyone thinking Beterviev got old, but that power is going to still show up. Yeah, if he hits you, he will. And I think, you know, the fight between him and Bivol is going to be righteous. Somebody mentioned that Todd and Fury was on the WWE roster this year. Oh, Drago knocks out Rocky. Oh, Troy. You really had me thinking about the restaurant, like he did something. Oh, look, it's nasty steak. Oh, look. Oh, look it, you know. Smells like a sewer. Kurt, who do you think is the next heavyweight daddy? Is it really going to be Triple D? He reminds me of Frank Bruno. Is it just me? No, it's not just you, Daryl. That's who we do that. Okay, look. Whenever you got time, Google Daniel Dubois, Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno trains with Daniel Dubois. Frank Bruno is one of those guys, bro. Like guys like that, Evander Holyfield, Frank Bruno, Vladimir Klitschko. Those guys are older. All those guys are a lot older than me. You know what I mean? Well, Vlad is what? How old is Vlad? 47, 48? Okay. They're older than me. Frank, Bruno, those guys are way older than me. And they're chiseled. They just got that body, Joshua is done in 2026. Wilder is done. Fury, who cares? Miller is irrelevant. White got done wrong. What heavyweight division? Damn. Triple D will quietly quit again when he meets someone that hurts him. Miller didn't hurt him. Miller didn't hit him enough. But then again, who says Miller had the knockout power to hurt him anyway? You know what I mean? And see, the only way Miller was going to beat, now looking at it in hindsight, the only way Miller was going to beat Dubois if he stayed consistent with his punches. Maybe if he done that and he would hit him with shots. See that fourth round where we seen Miller, bow, and overhand right, Daniel Dubois. If he would have continued and been able to do that throughout that fight, then we probably would have saw a different Daniel Dubois. See, a lot of people are saying, man, he got that triple D slogan is gone. He got the triple D back. Well, honestly, he wasn't really hit consistently. He was caught with a jab here and there, but most of the time he was bow, 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 bow. He was putting these punches in. So, and if you're in shape, okay, and like Daniel Dubois, I think some of his problem is psychological, because see, he could no longer hit Usyk like that. And he wasn't able to hit Usyk like that anyway, because Usyk saw, he's just in your face, but he's dancing all around you. He's doing these numbers, and he's sticking you, and he's able to hit you, and you can't hit him. And he's already seeing your punches coming. So Apataya could be the heavyweight future when he moves up. He could, but you know what about Jai Apataya? Jai Apataya will be beaten by somebody his size. He could probably beat bigger guys, but I think his size guys will give him problems. I feel the same way about Alexander Usyk. And get this, and this is probably something else you didn't know. Right? Something else you didn't know. I think if Artur Beterviev, could stop Usyk. Just me looking at like how the way Beterviev fights. He goes viciously to the body. He has these hard hooks, and he can hit you in mid to inside range, and he can hit you in the he's knocking people out with these sharp these punches just like this. I can look, I have long arms. You guys can see I have a long wingspan, right? I can't hit someone. I could, these punches are pretty, but if I had leverage, that punch will get you. Okay? That will be the shots that get you. Why? I have the space to throw them based on my arm width, based on the dynamics of how long my arms are, to see where those punches, how they will form, not little punches on the insides. Okay, Beterviev is able to land those punches with that power. Mike, Joe Louis, those guys. That's why Joe Louis is one of my favorite heavyweights of all time, the way he can deliver these short distance shots, bro. Ruiz has T-Rex arms. Kurt, you think Canelo goes to 175? Not again. Artur Beterviev. I think what happened with Canelo reached his cap at 168. 178, he met his match, and he never returned. You know what I'm saying? That's no different than, Joshua never coming back to the United States to fight again. Because, it's just something that he knew, okay, this shit ain't for me. And Canelo knows it. He knew it. And he's like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this because, I I would like to see Canelo and Beterviev. That would be good. But, you know, I don't know. Beterviev can beat Apataya for the cruiserweight. Well, and see the way he fights. If you guys seen him fight Moskayev, was it Moskayev? Was that who he fought? Hold on a second. How you think will go down as best from the lightweights and light welters? Whoa. Ooh, here's the problem. Haney's the only we don't even know where Loma is. Loma's probably back in the Ukraine trying to work on fixing the Ukraine back from war. Him and the Klitschko's. So I think he's busy enough, besides worrying about boxing. As far as everyone else involved, Tank Davis is still trying to hold on to 135 like a badge of honor, which I think is pretty stupid. But he's still there. I mean, he will probably be that dude there, and as long as he's around, What about Wilder versus Joyce next in a fight? Dub comeback or retirement? Yeah, that's a fight that could happen. But see, if he took the Joyce fight, people are going to ask, well, why didn't you fight the guy that beat Joyce? Why are you fighting Joyce where Joyce just got knocked out? Why are you fighting him? Why are you fighting the lesser or the loser between the two? That's what I would say, Troy. I wouldn't want that to be, no. Kurt, then who do you think will win if they match up Hrgovic-Joyce? No, I think Joe Joyce, if he's still the true juggernaut, I think Joe Joyce will beat Filip Hrgovic. Filip Hrgovic, I just explained it to you. If you guys listened to me earlier, and I'm going to say it again, and it's the last time I'm going to say it. Okay, so I hope you guys are here listening. The reason why I think Joe Joyce would beat Filip Hrgovic is because Filip Hrgovic has no head movement. He doesn't. He does not have any head movement. And when you don't have head movement, see, there's a difference. You can say, oh man, I see them slip punches. Oh, there's a difference between this shot and this shot. So sure, hooks, he could probably dip under, weave, bob. You know what I mean? They teach you the fundamentals. You know what I mean? 1, 2, right? So you're prone, if you know anything about boxing, you're prone to right? Jab, right hand, left hook, right? So if you're on the defense, that's the first thing you learn. That's the first thing you learn. You learn defense. So jab, right hand, left hook, right cross. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay. You learn that. But sometimes people develop habits. Dubois developed a habit because he's so accustomed to destroying these guys and coming out, bow, 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 bow. And then the ref coming in, waving these fights off, and I feel they were premature. I feel a lot of Daniel Dubois' knockouts were premature. I'm like, whoa, that was too early. That was too quick. You know what I mean? Don't try to do some Minority Report shit with these guys because these guys have chances. You're messing with their careers. You're messing with their money. You're messing with everything that they're probably working it like hard to do because they got hit with a couple shots. Then you're stopping the fight. Okay. Those guys like Daniel Dubois and Filip Hrgovic, they don't use their head movement and they start skipping steps. What steps did they skip? Easy. Jab, right hand, left. And anytime you know about Joyce is a guy like this. Right? He's moving his hands. Dubois ain't ready, Kurt, for real. Listen. Guys like Joyce, he might throw a punch to the body, but he's coming right back with the jab. big boy, big boned, heavy structured, half Irish, half Nigerian, all British. Think about it. Unit. You're getting hit with a guy. Think about it. Hrgovic doesn't move his head. He might see a hook, but he's already made a habit of skipping steps. Since he's skipping steps, bow, he's going to get hit with something. Bow. He might move his head every third punch that successfully lands in the favor of Joe Joyce. But listen, this is Joe Joyce. That's what he does. And he paws it like that. That's him. I don't fight like that. That's Joe Joyce. But Filip Hrgovic, he's strong, he's tall as shit. He said, I'm British and our boxers are suspect. Listen, Filip Hrgovic, I think, will get picked apart by Joe Joyce if he can't land those shots that hurt Joe Joyce. And if he cannot hurt Joe Joyce is going to beat him up. And he's going to use the jab, because I think he's going to be cautious, and I think anybody should be cautious after getting knocked out. That's mandatory. Okay? So, and head movement. Kurt, you think Wilder's coming on? Okay, let's see. The boxing torch was passed from the American heavyweight fighters to the fighters from Europe during the Lennox Lewis era. I don't know. I think just Lennox Lewis was exceptionally good. I don't think, you pass it to one guy, he just happened to be British, not all of Britain. No, I don't think that at all, because since Lewis, who the hell else has it been since then? Think about it. Lewis retired in what, 2002? 2003 or 4. This man been out of the game a long time. So you can't just say, oh, no, man, he passed from America. No, an American, matter of fact, wasn't even really an American. He beat everybody already in America. He beat Holyfield twice. He knocked out Mike Tyson. He never fought Riddick Bowe. Never fought Riddick Bowe. Never fought Michael Moore. But it doesn't matter, because Michael Moore got knocked out by David Tua at that point. By that time, George Foreman, bring that jab back or get your head cracked. Bars. That's true. But, if you're talking about someone like Joe Joyce, that's how he fights. Had to Google it. You were right. Well, those guys, he trained. He pretty much trained. And any guy, the Kopai, he's going to follow the senpai. The senpai is the senior man. The Kohai is the younger guy. And this, senpai, he assists the younger guy. Okay. Senior man, junior man. Okay. Lewis was suspect too, that McCall lost in Rahman. He got caught. It's the heavyweight division, bro. This is what could happen in the sport of boxing. Teddy, that's all that happened. He got caught with a shot. It happens. I don't give a shit how good you are. You can still get caught. Kurt, what's the Calvin Ford arrested for offering $500 for delivering cars from Baltimore to Las Vegas and not $2,000 for the scratch and flood? I don't know. I stopped. He went to jail. I don't really follow Calvin Ford anyway. I did a article on it. I did a video about it, but I didn't do one ever since, because I don't do everything. It has to inspire me to do. I'm a heavyweight guy. Tank Davis, I think he's been corrupted by Floyd Mayweather. So, I don't. And since he's converted to Islam, he's still Tank Davis to me. I don't care. I don't care what his name is. Tank. His name is Tank. If you get mad by calling yourself Tank, okay, I don't know what to tell you. I can't believe you. Joe Joyce would get beat by Philip. Okay, wonderful. I hope they fight then, so we'll both know. But I don't think Philip, and I think Philip will think and feel that he will be the favorite in that fight, which a lot of people will probably think that he is. Don't think I'll think he'll win. Mm-mm. Unless Joe Joyce has changed. His durability has been tainted psychologically, physically. He cannot take those shots, you know. Mm-mm. With all respect, Jesus is the truth, Marcos. Marcos, I heard that, my brother. Marlon Thornell. Kurt, I think Foreman does as much damage to Ali as all Frazier fights combined. I don't believe that shit at all. No, not at all. You don't understand that fight between him and George Foreman went 8 rounds. He knocked out George Foreman. George Foreman hit him with shots to the stomach more than any other place. He went 3 fights. 3 fights with Joe Frazier. No. Doesn't hold a candle to Frazier and Ali, bro. Those guys beat the shit out of each other for 45 rounds. 3 fights. 15 rounds a fight. 3 fights, 45. Right? Yeah. 45. Does Parker beat Hrgovic? Kurt, I think he gets stopped. I think he beats Hrgovic. I just explained to you why. Hrgovic doesn't use his head and he will swell. And then eventually Joe Joyce will land the overhand over the jab like he did Joe Joyce. He will beat him the same way he beat Daniel Dubois. Everybody thought that too, and everybody looked at me crazy when I said, nah, man. You know, and you have to understand, Hrgovic is probably on the same level that Daniel Dubois was on. Okay? He's not that far advanced. Think about it. See, Daniel Dubois was pushed. He was pushed into those type fights. I think that last Zhang beating took the last out of Joyce. I know his second loss. Okay, Teddy. We'll see, though. I'm not going to make that until this is his first time he ever got knocked down. And I'm not going to write someone off like that due to a loss. See, that's that shit. Oh, he got beat, so he's done. Oh, the last of them is done. You don't know what these guys have left. I don't think so. Daniel was super premature. Okay? So what the hell was Joe Joyce? What was Joe Joyce? He was older. That don't mean he, you know what I mean? That was his biggest test too. I wonder if Zhang has more power than Wilder. I don't know. But I don't think it's the power that he has over Wilder. It's the power that he can inflict on Wilder. And vice versa. I usually wouldn't, but the type of beating he took. Well, he just got outboxed and then he quit. That's all. Parker should rematch Joyce and White and win. Parker should rematch Joyce and White and win them earlier parts of this year. If Miller allowed to fight, why can't White? Kurt, what's happening with Dillian White? I don't know. I reached out to Dean. I haven't heard from him. I know he's a super busy dude, so I don't know. If Zhang's trained by an American. Yes, he's trained by an American. Sean George, that's his name. I'm actually about to jump off of here and do a video about an interview about Sean George pretty soon. Zhang has more skill and more boxing knowledge and savagery than Wilder. We'll see. Fighters from European countries, had to change their fighting style to match American style of boxing. Okay. It doesn't look good for White. No news is bad news. Yeah, well, I think honestly, Dillian White, the idea of fighting for a title died in 2022. Oh, yeah? Well, there you go. I'm not saying I think Phillip beats Joe Joyce because he took a loss, because I don't write people off after a loss. I just don't think much of Joe Joyce's Parker lost because he wasn't well, so an insider. Mm. Okay. I think we ain't heard from Dillian because he's already doing his band. I don't know. He's chilling. He's a millionaire. He's good. You know, he doesn't need money and stuff like that. He's just doing Dillian White. I just hope he's in shape and he's, physically fit, spiritually healthy, and all that other good stuff. Agreed. White done and cooked. Yeah, because he knew. Oh, I lost to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury was the WBC champion. I finally got what I was asking for after all these fucking years, and I came up short. The end. I think the last draw was with him having the opportunity to take on Anthony Joshua. So, you heard the saying, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Well, the adverse finding or whatever it was, that was it. That was it. Manuel Stewart and Lennox Lewis was the perfect coach fighter match. I heard he's going back to MMA. Dillian White, maybe. Got to get out in this Oklahoma blizzard to pick up the wife. Thanks for the great content, brother. Counterpunch to you, Kurt. Marlon, yeah, man, I got two sisters that live in Oklahoma. So, matter of fact, I need to call my sister and see how she's doing. A blizzard, huh? Dang. It's cold here, though, man. The wind is like, Dillian does come back. If Dillian does come back, I honestly don't see much for him as for big fights. I think the boat has left. Well, he's been in enough big fights. He's did his thing. He was the WBC interim champion for like 3 years, 1,000 days or whatever. So, you know what I mean? He lost it to, I don't even know if he lost it to Alexander Povetkin, but if he didn't, he should have been, but he got it back. Now, I think it was really downhill since 2020 for him. Why do I say that? Well, he didn't fight Otto Vailane, so we never seen how that fight could have, could have produced anything. He got knocked out by Povetkin when Povetkin, I think that was his last star performance, and Povetkin knocked him out cold. Then he fights him again. Then it's like the man was suffering from COVID. He didn't even look the same. So, I mean, how much credit could you give Dillian White for that win? I don't care. I avenge my defeat. You avenge your defeat on a guy that's half the person that you saw when he knocked you out. So, yeah, it like for Dillian, from 2 years before, he was on top of everything. He was knocking out Lucas Brown, taking his O, fighting Joseph Parker after Joseph Parker lost his first took his first O from Anthony Joshua. So you fought, Lucas Brown, then Joseph Parker, then you knocked out your rival Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora stayed in the mix. So I don't know. White lost his interim to Povetkin, but not his mandatory position. Okay. I know some stupid shit like that. Mandatory position was still suspended when he fought Povetkin. Fury versus Usyk will be full of body shots. Battle of the body shots. Yeah, I can't wait to see that fight either, man. I can't wait to see the fight tomorrow night. And I will be live for it. I will make the live stream today. So, you guys can drop your comments, donate and all that stuff between Artur Beterviev and Callum Smith for the unified light heavyweight belts, except for the WBA because that belongs to Dmitry Bivol. So you guys stay tuned for that. I will have some more content, a couple more videos coming at you guys today. But until then, thank you guys for coming on. God bless you all. Be blessed. Have a great weekend. And I will see you tomorrow live. And everybody will be counterpunched. Peace. I don't even know how to. Okay. I don't see the X button. So many channels saying how small Usyk is and how easy Fury will smash him up. But okay. Well, we'll see. We will definitely see. We will see what takes place. Yeah, this is weird.